Hello and welcome to the 50-cent tour of Tuesday, June 11th, 2013. Please find a seat on the Liberty bus and we will begin our tour of the day. Name one country that came back from tyranny, really. Okay, I'm starting with a little bit of a downer today because I think that a lot of people are feeling like, oh, what is left? And this person actually kind of reaches the conclusion, the way I see it, the only rational thing to do is find another country to start over. There is no other country. The NSA, the spying information that's been released by the whistleblower, if I understand correctly, it pertains to the entire world, not just the U.S. So the scope of this is so big that running away somewhere with the hope of rebuilding and then having an influence is probably a pretty vain hope. I think that if we want to press through, if you want to just find a place where you can hide and grow vegetables and raise a family, you might be able to find that. But if you want to be pushing on the house of cards and contributing to its collapse, I don't know that there's any place else that is a better place to live than the U.S. And I feel like it's incumbent upon all of us to do what we can to further the cause of liberty. There are certain obligations in being a part of a generation, and the generations that are alive today have some problems to address. And if we don't address them, there could be a big collapse of civilization, and there's a Zardoz kind of a scenario, and that's from the movie Zardoz, which the title is based on Wizard of Oz. It's a great movie, old and kind of cliched, but fun to watch. But that we could have that kind of a collapse, and hundreds of years in the future there could be a rebuilding or not. I mean, I do believe what the Bible says. I do believe that Jesus is coming again. But that's not a guarantee that we won't have things to work through. And I've stated before, I think that people who were alive during the Dark Ages could have easily thought, if they knew the Bible, could have easily thought that Jesus was coming soon, that they were in the last days. So we can't count on this being the last days. I feel like, as I said, it's incumbent upon all of us to wrestle and to struggle through this. And the butterfly's wings do not get pumped up without struggle coming out of the cocoon. So it won't hurt us. We might not feel good, might not be fun, but struggle is a positive thing for people. It helps us to grow and be bigger. And hey, there's a little bug right there to remind us of the kind of genesis, the metamorphosis that bugs go through. I don't know if you've ever seen a ladybug that is in its pupa stage, or whatever it's called, not pupa, but that in-between stage for bugs. They're pretty funny looking. So if we look at each other, we look pretty funny. Well, we're probably not finished developing yet. We're growing into something that we are created to be. World facing catastrophic consequences over looming water shortages. This isn't something that we think about a whole lot. Jesse Ventura did an episode of his conspiracy theory show once about big balloons filled with water being pulled behind barges to China. In other words, China stealing our fresh water. And certainly Nestle is siphoning off a lot of our fresh water. We can stop that by stopping buying, by no longer buying bottled water. But just looking at this, many of the problems that we have with energy and petroleum fuel, fossil-based fuel, well, it's not really fossil-based fuel, but petroleum fuels, there is technology that is a solution to the problem. It's just not widely available yet. And there's technology that can help reclaim water. Aquaponics, you can grow vegetables in a closed water system. Well, the vegetables aren't in the closed water system, but you have a closed water system, and there are fish at one end who are, doing what fish do, and you take the waste from the fish, makes tremendous fertilizer. So, and the plants pull out what can't be in the fish water, and it just cycles, and you can even get a system that if you want to be completely off the grid, you can get a system that is powered by a treadmill. So, this is just a great system, and I'm hoping we don't have one yet, but I really see this as a key aspect to a future where people can live off the grid without suffering lack. This is the Reclamator. This is another high-tech solution to the problem of water shortage. I've mentioned this before, so I won't spend a lot of time on it, but it's a closed system for a house, but it can be expanded. It can really be used in a building of any size, and you 100% reclaim all the water. Here's a call today to purify and reclaim 100% of all sewage from your home or business. And when they say reclaim, the water that is returned is healthier, much healthier to drink than tap water. In fact, it has a little bit of an alkaline balance, which people spend thousands of dollars to buy something that sits on their counter just to give their water an alkaline balance. So, solutions. There are solutions. Now, I want to get back to a little bit to the spying. It's not, because this issue is not resolved. Government wants all cars to track driver behavior, seatbelt usage, and more. I heard on Alex Jones' show today that there supposedly is a survey that says people don't care if the government spies on them. Really? Well, I kind of doubt that the validity of that survey anyway. But if people are accepting it, then we need to be telling them reasons why it potentially is threatening to them, why it is a severe loss of liberty. The solution to this, by the way, is keep your old cars running that don't have all this new stuff in them. Okay, cloud computing is a trap, warns GNU founder Richard Stallman. I've mentioned cloud computing before. I notice pop-up ads now that Google is offering 15 gigabytes of free storage to use their cloud. This is the concept of using web-based programs is worse than stupidity. Cloud computing is, also very foolish. I don't understand, especially, if you do work with, if you do any kind of creative work, you have any inventions, there's anything that you're working on that might be, you have a competitive edge if it's kept secret, and you're putting it out there, please. If I had that type of work to do, I would probably use an older, lower tech computer and keep it completely offline while working in order to prevent anything from, leaking out into the internet. And, I can see that could be something that people begin to do, is use older computers and, keep them running just like with the cars. And take them offline to do certain kinds of work. Government spying on Americans and then giving info to giant corporations. Big banks and other corporate bigwigs benefit from illegal spying. Yeah, and as I mentioned yesterday about the ad popping up after I said I was hot and sweaty and was going to take a shower, all of a sudden I had 3 ads come up that offered me a solution to being sweaty. And, you know, it wasn't a shower. I'm sure I didn't click on them, but I'm sure there was a lot more expense involved than just taking a shower. And here is Ron Paul, when you have a dictatorship, truth becomes treasonous. And just a great quote from Ron Paul about the whistleblower Snowden. And, you know, they're calling him treasonous now. They're implying that he has ties to China. Whatever. It's a patriotic act to expose activity that runs contrary to the Constitution. I don't care who you are, what your level is. And, you know, we all need to be aware of this. It's action against the Constitution. It's subversion of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, that is treasonous. Not exposing when that's being done. And 86 civil liberties groups and internet companies demand an end to NSA spying. So they're saying there are surveys that people don't care. Well, the people in these 86 groups and companies do care. People care. People do not want to be spied on. People do not want some sexting thing that they sent to somebody when they were in college, placed somewhere in a public place or in a place where there's access to, where their grandkids are going to see that someday. No, people don't want that. You can't convince me that they do. And here, you know, here's the real danger, the blackmail aspect. Because, as I said before, we all have done things that we regret. Did NSA already use its massive surveillance apparatus to hijack the Supreme Court decision on Obamacare? It's just a question. You know, it's not saying that it did. But certainly it's within the realm of possibility. When these people have access to everything, they have access to everything. I just, you know, I can't imagine that there's one person anywhere who doesn't have something in their past that they don't want people to know. And that's why this is dangerous. Cancer prevention, a traditional approach. This is, yeah, okay. This is our good news, switching into good news. We all know how to prevent cancer, right? Eat living foods, exercise, and try to avoid stress. I mean, it's not rocket science. And top superfoods for healthy weight loss. Avocado's great. I've read before that avocado neutralizes bad fat that you eat. And avocados, if you're really trying to lose weight and you're addicted to dairy, avocados, you know, you put avocado in a salad instead of cheese, and it's just a very, very satisfying food and very good for you as well. The Daily Tour is a presentation of She Who Will Walk in the Dark Productions. And we thank you for participating in today's tour by being with us. The dawn is coming. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And may we all persevere through to see the morning, to see a new beginning for our nation, a restoration of our constitutional republic. Hoping that you will hold on, love one another, Take care and insist on liberty.